Hi, and welcome to our March video blog. My name is Cunliffe, Managing Director of Pangea, and pleased to have our co-founder and Ops Director, Chris Romeika, joining us. Thanks, Chris.
Everyone.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So what are we talking about this time? Well, let's start off with, it's almost the end of the quarter. We've had a pretty exciting quarter for us in Pangea, and specifically for our partners. Some of the things we've been working on to really drive to the end have been two really key opportunities. One in particular was for an international video game company, and Chris can maybe tell you a bit more, but one of the key reasons why we've got involved with this company is that they produce consoles that are the latest consoles. So imagine something like a PS5 or a PS6 or something like that, and you were to give it to people to test for you. The thing is, people don't actually look after it, and they give it to their mates, or they run away with it. And actually tracking that has been a real issue. And I know, Chris, you've been involved with that deal particularly.
Yeah, I think it's it's amazing what we find, where our opportunities are going to come from all the time, from every different area. So this particular one, like you were saying, they just basically need to track, equipment and consoles as they move in and out of the office, in and out of sites. And for this one, we put forward a proposition to have combination of cellular tracking combined with active and passive RFID to give a complete end-to-end solution for this customer.
That's a big part about what we're doing now, is that we're actually moving further into more than just cellular, but actually RFID, geonodes, and a variety of things. And it's a quite exciting time for our partners. The other one that we've been working on is actually providing a digital platform for taxis, so advertising at the top of taxis, providing advertising where taxis are located, so GPS location-based advertising. It's been really interesting. Anything you want to say on that?
I think that one's another really interesting one, and it's also one where it goes beyond just the basic connectivity of a SIM card into a device. With this one, we reached back into our Pangea Solutions arm, and we put forward a proposition which allows real-time GPS tracking fed directly into the digital advertising device. So for example, when the taxi drives past a paid area, maybe it's the high street in Oxford Street or something, the ads will change automatically on the fly to that.
It's really interesting stuff. It's actually quite clever. So these are just two examples of what we're working on and have been working on in this quarter for our partners that are bringing us some really interesting deals. And if you've got anything in that space, feel free to get in touch. This month we've also been in quite a bit of the trade press, so Comms Business, Comms Dealer. Tech Forge has been a new one for us, particularly talking about enterprise and IoT, so please do have a look out for that. Some of the other bits that we probably want to talk about, and one of the reasons we decided to bring Chris on here, is that he wrote a really interesting blog on how Wi-Fi and M2M in the home has got a life or doesn't have a life. And Chris, one of the key things I wanted to ask you is, Wi-Fi in the home, or a smart connected home relying on Wi-Fi, probably has got some people thinking, yep, that's a good idea, but actually for us, we think it's probably got a few limitations. Maybe you want to tell us a bit about those limitations?
Yeah, sure. I think it's one of those things, in the current times, it's really easy to get a Wi-Fi enabled, IoT device in the house. You've got a lot of home control systems. Some of them are on TV at the moment. They're all Wi-Fi connected. Security cameras and things like that. But I was thinking, which is the subject of my blog, is that what we don't realise is that we might have a handful of devices now, but if we fast forward to 3 to 5 years in the future, you might have 50 devices, 50 smart devices in the home.
Yeah, very much so.
Which all rely on your Wi-Fi signal, and but what actually happens in the home, or maybe even in the office, is that you might change your broadband every year or two. People are going for the best deals, and as you're sort of changing your underlying connectivity structure, you got to remember to update all your smart devices as well. Otherwise, they're no longer smart because they can't talk to anything. So I think I think there'll be another step in the terms of managing the Wi-Fi and transparently managing Wi-Fi as we go forward.
And a really big part of this is we will know this as consumers and even businesses, is that we probably change our provider once a year.
That's right.
When it comes to Wi-Fi, everyone's looking for a new deal, everyone's looking for a new way to deliver it. So I think that's quite a key part of it, and it's probably not a long-term option, really.
No, I don't think so. No, and with the the plunge in sort of the price of cellular connectivity. Also, the new embedded devices coming out now, embedded SIM cards, the new standard from the GSMA recently, which was also announced at the Mobile World Congress. that kind of stuff is very real now, where in a couple of years from now we might pay 10 pence a month or 10 pence a year for a connection just for a basic smart device. So
exactly.
yeah.
Oh, cool. So a couple of the topics that we had going on is we were at Convergence Summit North.
Yes.
Where we had a opportunity to be on a panel debate where we talk about what it means for the M2M channel, or for the channel to sell more of the M2M side of that stuff.
So what did you find interesting from that panel?
What I find interesting, but I think we were probably 4 different providers who were invited onto the panel, and had the opportunity to really talk about what was our take on helping other companies to sell M2M services, how to make money out of it, and probably more importantly, who they should collaborate with.
Yep.
That's what I thought was
What
quite
kind of on that panel? What kind of key topics were discussed then?
I think the guys asked us really important questions about who you should work with. You know, when you're going to go into an IoT space or an M2M space, and actually we don't really call it M2M all that much. No. We actually call it smarter mobile connectivity, and I think the key topics and questions were asked was about like how do you spot the ideas, what markets you should go for, how long does it take to actually drive and create a sale. Those are the kind of key things that were quite important.
And was anything about that panel? I mean, did you generally find it right? Was there anything that you would have done differently, perhaps?
I think things that were done differently because we're trying to target guys. We're trying to effectively go out and sell more smart connectivity, smart mobile data, and M2M, as you say. I think I would have had someone who's actually doing that with us already.
An actual customer.
Have an actual customer on the panel, so that guys in the audience could really listen and hear what someone who's done it and been there, what they're experiencing. And it could be one of our customers, it could be one of the other panel people's customers. I don't really mind, but I think that would have been a good way to kind of...
Nothing like the horse's mouth to be
nothing like listening it from the horse's mouth in terms of what's going on. But on that topic, it was a really cool event, and I think we did ourselves justice in terms of what we delivered there. For those of you who might have noticed, we're at Waterloo doing our video blog for this month, and which is now coming to an end. So once again, thank you, Chris, for joining us. I really appreciate it, mate, for coming on board. What I would also like to say is for anyone who's enjoyed following our video blogs over the last 6-7 months, as usual, please do get in touch with us on Twitter, which is @Pangea Connected. If you are more in the LinkedIn, you can search for Pangea Connecting Everything. As usual, Periscope is one of our favorite ones, so search for Pangea Scope, where you can watch the panel I was actually on. And as usual, just send us an email at contact@pangea-group.net. Thanks so much for your time. Dan Cunliffe, Chris Romeika. We'll see you next month.
See ya. Thank you.